Top stories tonight. President Bola Tinubu signs executive order to improve investment in oil and gas sector. Vice President Kashim Shettima, others pay tribute to Herbert, wife and son. Dozens abducted as Boko Haram attacks IDP camps in Borno State. Senegalese MPs debate contentious amnesty bill as election delays, crisis deepens. Our coverage tonight begins in West Africa, where Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has signed 3 executive orders to help improve the investment climate and position Nigeria as the preferred investment destination for the oil and gas sector in Africa. In a statement by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, the documents are in line with the President's efforts to remove obstacles to investment in Nigeria and also harness the nation's resources and diversify the economy for the benefit of all Nigerians. The order are to introduce fiscal incentives for oil and gas projects, reduce contracting costs and timelines, and also improve cost efficiency in local content requirements. Let's now tell you that President Bola Tinubu has directed the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to facilitate the immediate release and distribution of grains and palliatives to residents to cushion the effect of the economic hardship. The Minister for State for the FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, disclosed this on Wednesday in an emergency meeting with stakeholders and chairmen of the 6 area councils in the FCT. She said the directive came in a letter from the Presidency through the National Emergency Management Authority to the FCT Minister, while also announcing the setup of a committee to carry out the directive within the next 2 weeks. Some FCT residents had on Sunday attacked a warehouse in the Gwagwatasha area of Abuja. In security matters, the Nigerian Senate has condemned in strong terms the recent attacks on Benue communities by terrorists. The upper chamber also called on the federal government and other authorities to put appropriate measures in place to forestall the recurrence of such incidents. This formed part of the resolutions of the lawmakers when the issue came up during Wednesday's plenary at the upper chamber of the National Assembly. The Senate says it is worried about the worsening spate of insecurity in the country after Senator Emmanuel Odende raised a point of order on the killing of over 50 persons in Logo, Goma, and Katsina-Ala areas of Benue State.
The Senate aware with deepest sadness that no fewer than 50% have been killed in fresh attacks on several communities in Kwande, Ukum, Logo, and Katsina-Ala local government areas of Benue State by terrorists parading as headsmen. Further aware that the affected communities, some of which were attacked as recently as yesterday, and which attack are ongoing, include Chulu Ward, Boiko Ward, Kunda Ward, Ubam Ward, Uyam Ward in the Kum local government area, and Udeku, Yaiwa, Nihimba, Tomata, Amenakwa, Yase, and Agra, all in Kwande local government in Benue Northeast Senatorial District. Saddened that the residents of the villages and communities now find themselves targeted on a daily basis by heavily armed terrorists. And the toll continues to be staggering as they bear the brunt, with reports of marauders butchering several villages, leaving many homes completely burnt down, and numerous residents still missing, while the perpetrators, however, remain elusive and have not been apprehended.
It's a fact. The first line of thought is the government of Benue State. And as Senator Odende brought it forward, I have not heard any comment from the government of Benue State. If 50 people are killed, or more than 50, and communities are being attacked, we will expect that the governor will either cry out or marshal out plans with the immediate security operatives within the Benue State to see what he can do before we start bringing the issue to the president. And I want to also assure you that President Bola Tinubu, though he has not stayed long in office, is very concerned and supportive of the armed forces. And by the time the Senate meets with him, in conjunction with the House of Representatives, I believe that the resolutions that will come out with will benefit the entire country.
Nigeria's House of Representatives has urged President Bola Tinubu to improve the presence of security operatives in communities being ravaged by bandits and consider and other neighboring states. This followed a resolution passed by lawmakers after debating a motion of urgent national importance, as they expressed concern over the number of communities in considered state under siege, as News Central's Idong Joseph tells us more.
Recent attacks by bandits in Katsina State, northwest Nigeria, has led to the death of many, leaving several others injured. As lawmakers debated on the situation in the state, they called for government intervention in the provision of security and humanitarian aid to those in need. One lawmaker from the state revealed that 17 local government areas in the state are currently witnessing bandit attacks.
My house, Mr. Speaker, my house is 600 meters to the camps of bandits. I didn't know when I slept in my house. Talk less of the colleagues. Last week, the governor wanted to go to a place where the bandits attacked. They sacked the whole village. He couldn't break through. So there is the need for government to come to the rescue of Katsina State before we turn into Borno State.
Others say the situation is not exclusive to Katsina State, but being witnessed in some other states, and called for urgent intervention.
If only Katsina, Sokoto, and that place are being taken care of, there's still been people from Benue migrating back to those areas. It should all be taken care of.
It's happening in Zampara. It's a rotating back to Sokoto, to my constituency. Me and my logam are all neighbors.
You are neighbors?
Well, I never knew him.
Okay.
So
you want to amend that Zamfara?
I want my Sokoto to be included.
You want?
Join the children matter, sir. I want them to be among the 3 states.
This motion is narrowed within Katsina State. So the amendment is not relevant to this motion because his amendment is not related to Katsina State.
Those in support of the motion as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
The matter was then referred to the House Committees on Defense, Army, Police, Emergency and Disaster Preparedness, as well as the National Security and Intelligence for legislative action following a voice vote. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Dozens have been abducted in a fresh attack by Boko Haram terrorists in Borno State. The attack happened on Monday when the insurgents struck 3 internally displaced persons camps in Ngala town, the headquarters of Gamboru Ngala local government area at the border of Cameroon, where the terrorists are most active. According to a security source, the victims, over 40 girls and women, went to fetch firewood from the bush when the insurgents whisked them away from the Babin Sansani camp, Zulum camp, and also Arabic camp. Now, the sources said the number of women and girls kidnapped can be higher, and the specific number of the abducted girls has yet to be asserted. Now, unresolved differences between Nigeria's government and crypto giant Binance will see the global forex trading platform exit the country. And of course, while the Binance has announced that the 8th, it will stop the trading of the Nigerian Naira on its platform, advising all traders to convert their Naira e-currency to USDT. Some experts, however, say the war against forex speculators is not over, calling on Nigeria's government to do more. Now, News Central's Amadine Uyi tells us more.
Before now, many Nigerians did not know who or what Binance represented. However, with a falling Naira losing over 100% of its value in the last 6 months, many, even governments, are now taking cryptocurrency and the Binance platform more serious. While government says the Naira is being undervalued, Crypto experts blame its fall to speculators, creating an artificial demand for dollars, thus Nigeria's naira bearing the brunt.
Exactly what people were doing in the Binance peer-to-peer platform. So they create an arbitrage. What does arbitrage do? It consistently forces the price to go up. So what now happens is that the exchange rate on Binance begins to increase based on that artificial. Sometimes the order may not even go through. Or sometimes I might fix the price and buy from myself. So I create an artificial demand.
Nigeria's federal government says trade volume and activities on the Binance platform over the last 1 year puts the company on the spotlight, thus ensuring it should not be taken lightly.
In the last 1 year alone, 26 billion US dollars has passed through Binance Nigeria from sources and users who we cannot adequately identify.
Nigeria's government is insisting it to come down hard on speculators who are using the Binance platform to manipulate the value of the naira. However, there are some who think government is not doing enough, or it has come into the fray too late.
Where there are distortions that that come about as a result of bad behavior, we will ensure that those who do it will face the music as a deterrent to ensure that others in future do not go that route.
One of the major reasons, rather, we have government is to regulate the human instinct to exploit one another. Without the government, a lot of things will just go. People can do a lot of things. But because there is law and order in place, it prevents people from doing certain things.
With Binance announcing it is exiting the Nigerian forex market and excluding the nation's naira from its trade platform from March the 8th, citizens will be hoping the forex market will eventually witness stability. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amajin Uyi.
Let's now tell you that the United Arab Emirates is yet to resume visa services for Nigerian citizens wishing to visit the country. Several news outlets had reported that the UAE on March 4th lifted the visa restriction on Nigerian travelers. But Bayo Ononuga, the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, refuted the viral document in an update on its X page. In October 2022, the UAE implemented a ban on citizens from approximately 20 African nations from entering its borders. Among the affected countries are Nigeria, Uganda, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Sudan, Cameroon, Liberia, Burundi, Republic of Guinea, Gambia, Togo, Democratic Republic of Congo, Senegal, Benin, Ivory Coast, Congo, Rwanda, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, Comoros, and the Dominican Republic. To discuss this, we are joined on the news by Omotola Ilesomi, Senior Research Fellow at Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right, now let's start with your immediate reaction to this particular development. We know that the president actually did visit Qatar, and of course that has elicited quite a number of reactions. But what do you make of this recent update as regards the visa status of Nigerians, choosing to visit the UAE?
Well, I think I find it very worrisome that the information handlers of the presidency keeps on going back and forth with the information for Nigerians. We all know it started in 2023, of course, with the ban in October 2022. And after talks, President Tinubu's talks with the Emir of the UAE in 2023, the announcement was made by his PA, Special Assistant on Media, who said the visa ban had been lifted. And there were rebuttals about that. Both the government of the UAE had come back to say that there was nothing like that, and that died down. Only for us to hear once again from another information handler of the president that just a few days back that the visa ban had lifted, and for the same official to come up again to say that no, there was not information. The information was incorrect. So I think this shows a lot of it shows a lack of thorough investigation on the part of the information handlers of the president. And a situation that's as very important as this, there's a need to be issues before the information is put out there in public domain.
All right, Omotola, let's consider, of course, the business relationship, particularly between both countries, and the impact this ban has had so far. At what magnitude will you say that business relations particularly have been affected?
Yes, I think to a large extent, you know that a lot of Nigerian entrepreneurs and startups visit UAE a lot for investment opportunities and trade opportunities. But with this ban, we know that has affected them negatively. This has a negative impact on Nigerian businesses and investors. The same way for the UAE themselves, because Nigeria is a huge market for the UAE as well. And so the ban has also affected trade relations and investment relations between both countries, even in terms of tourism and hospitality. We know a lot of Nigerians, love to vacate. They travel, both for hospitality and tourism for vacation. And this has also, affected them. The monies that could have been made, even by the UAE, from Nigerians on vacation has also, that has not been there as a result of this ban. So a lot of trade and investment opportunities has been negatively affected by this visa ban for both countries.
All right, Omotola Ilesomi, Senior Research Fellow, Nigeria Institute of International Affairs. Thank you for your time. You're watching Tonight. Coming up, Nigeria's Vice President Shettima, others pay tribute to Herbert Wigwe, wife and son. We have details after this break. If you have just joined us, you are watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu signs executive order to improve investment in oil and gas sector. Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima, others pay tribute to Herbert, wife and son. Dozens abducted as Boko Haram attacks IDP camps in Borno State. Senegalese MPs debate contentious amnesty bill as election delay crisis deepens. Let's continue with the news, where Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima on Wednesday led the nation to mourn former Group Chief Executive Officer of Access Holdings PLC, Herbert Wigwe, and his family, who died in a helicopter crash in the United States of America weeks ago. Shettima described the late Wigwe as an early bloomer who transformed the Nigerian banking industry, recalling his visionary leadership and unwavering dedication to his community. The Vice President highlighted Wigwe's early successes, his dream of holding and building the Harvard of Africa, and his commitment to leaving a lasting legacy.
Has been specially put together for this series of events in commemoration of our dearly departed.
The journey of our departed brothers and sisters may have ended in a distant land, but their spirits linger in the hearts of everyone here and beyond. Today, we honor not just the soul that boarded that faithful helicopter, but the indomitable dreamers and builders that soared to heights reserved for the chosen few. What could have been Harvard's final act, his magnum opus, was the unveiling of the university he endeavored to establish, the Harvard of Africa, as he fondly called it. To understand why he was so passionate about creating a place of knowledge, one must step into the shoes of a man who lived a life adorned with unparalleled achievements and reached summits few dare to climb.
I probably remember, as Dare said, 2021 August, in the same hall. A big ceremony celebrating my 60th birthday and launching my book. It was organized and paid for by Herbert.
At the event, we have former Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Governor of Abia State, Alex Otti, a presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, Chairman Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, and former Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, amongst others. Away from that to politics, the Edo State House of Assembly on Wednesday commenced impeachment proceedings against the Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu. The Majority Leader, Charity, who announced the impeachment notice during plenary, said the petition dated March 5th was signed by 21 of the 24 members against the Deputy Governor. He also said the petition was based on 2 grounds of perjury and revealing of government secrets. Speaker of the House, Blessing Agbebaku, who acknowledged receipt of the petition, directed the clerk of the House to serve the Deputy Governor the impeachment notice. Agbebaku also gave the Deputy Governor 7 days to respond to the notice of impeachment.
One and 2A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic to the effect that the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Right Honorable Philip Shaibu,
The Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed Julius Abure as the chairman of the Labour Party. The appellate court also set aside the decision of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, which last year restrained Abure and 2 others from parading themselves as national officers of the party. In the judgment delivered by Justice Hammer Barker, the appellate court held that the High Court was wrong to have assumed jurisdiction on the matter. The appellate court also awarded a cost of 1 million naira in favor of Abure and against the respondent, Lamidi Apapa.
Action at the trial court was instituted by some individuals, I don't know where they came from, challenging the propriety of the continued occupation of the Labour Party chairmanship office by Mr. Julius Abure. And by the judgment of the Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal has found that that action, as contrived, was incompetent. It was null and void.
Julius Abure has always been the national chairman. The court, no court ever has said that he has ceased from being the national chairman. And today, again, the court has reaffirmed to the appeal court that he is the substantive national chairman. I think the case ends today, and there won't be any need for anybody to go further.
The internal rift, which has affected the Labour Party over who is the authentic chairman of the party, commenced shortly after the 2023 presidential election. The drama which followed saw 2 persons, Julius Abure and Lamidi Apapa, go head-to-head on who leads the party. The Federal Capital Territory High Court had restrained Abure and 2 others from parading themselves as national officers of the party, as the Apapas-led faction accused Abure and others of forging several documents of the FCT High Court to carry out unlawful substitutions of candidates in the 2023 general elections. However, in a different twist, the Court of Appeal overturned the judgment and awarded 1 million naira fine against Apapa.
The Court of Appeal has found that that action, as contrived, was incompetent. It was null and void. So, with that action being found to be incompetent, then that means that all the claims of those factions or those individuals who were challenging the chairmanship position being occupied by Julius Abure they possessed or they did not possess the virus to even institute the action at all.
No court ever has said that he has ceased from being the national chairman. And today, again, the court has reaffirmed through the appeal court.
The party leadership dismissed claims that there were divisions in the party, calling on supporters to ignore the rift of the past and join hands in promoting the well-being of the party.
All we are saying is that our brothers out there should please come back. The party is open. The party is willing to readmit them.
Speaking on the upcoming Edo election, the party says it is prepared for the polls.
Efforts are made to truncate the process, but the party stood their ground, went for their primaries, and elected the best candidate ever.
By this judgment, all the question marks surrounding Julius Abure's capacity to function as the national chairman of the Labour Party has been put to rest. Now, as Edo prepares to go to the polls on the 21st of September, it is expected that Julius Abure can now concentrate, prepare, and deliver Labour Party for Edo State. In Abuja for News Central, Marvelous Obomanu.
Still talking politics, and on a sad note, the chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Ekiti State, Paul Omotosho, is dead. It was gathered from family members that the Mercy Ekiti-born politician and lawyer died in the early hours of Wednesday after a brief illness. Omotosho, who was said to be active and participated in a series of political meetings early in the week, was said to have complained about his health on Tuesday, which made him to be rushed to the government hospital in the state capital, where he later died. It will be recalled that the late APC chairman was kidnapped in July 2023 by gunmen and was released after 5 days in the den of the gunmen. Let's now tell you that hearings on the controversy surrounding the membership ownership of the number 4 Finbus Road Umuahia housing, the People's Democratic Party's secretariat in Abia State, continue today at the sitting of the State Judicial Panel of Inquiry for the Recovery of Government Property. The panel had subpoenaed former Commissioner for Lands and Housing Uche Ihediwa, SAN, who appeared before it and made some sterling revelations. Now, News Central's Chinwe Ugele tells us more.
The Judicial Panel of Inquiry had ordered the sealing of the People's Democratic Party's secretariat located at number 43 Finbas Road, Umuahia, after a petitioner, Oken Zako, petitioned the panel.
The sealing of the PDP secretariat is part of the activities of the government related to recovery of public properties converted to private use. It's also in response to a petition presently being reviewed by the Judicial Panel.
The party was confident that the property which they had occupied over the years belonged to it.
The property was bought from Oken Zako, was acquired from Oken Zako, yes, by the party. But what I don't know is Oken Zako is alleging that he has not, his bill that we are still owing him, that the party is still owing him some amount of money. It's not that the party has not paid, that we are still owing him part of the money meant for the building.
But the State's Commissioner for Lands and Housing, Chaka Chukwumerije, says the documents available to him say otherwise.
It was paid for by the government. It was paid for from the account of the Ministry of Lands and Housing. So that's what makes it public property.
At the hearing on Wednesday, 6th of March 2024, the former Commissioner for Lands and Housing, Uche Ihediwa, who didn't want media coverage during his cross-examination, confirmed the claims of his successor. He said the ministry, with the approval of the governor, procured number 43 Finbas Road, Umuahia for the state from Mr. Oken Zako, the original owner of the property, at the value of 120 million naira paid in installments. He also disclosed that the building was rented out to the People's Democratic Party, which was already the tenant of the property, but was given rent waivers by the governor. The former property owner had alleged that the state government was indebted to him, having promised to pay the rent arrears the party had incurred over time. The People's Democratic Party will have to wait for the outcome of the panel's investigation or find another accommodation to carry on with its duties. In Omaha for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
You're watching Tonight. Still ahead. Senegalese MPs debate contentious amnesty bill as election crisis continues. We have details of this and more after now. We're staying in West Africa, where Senegalese members of parliament on Wednesday debated an amnesty bill covering acts linked to deadly protest in recent years. Controversial text aimed at calming the crisis sparked by the presidential election delay. Criticism of the bill as shielding the perpetrators of serious crimes, including homicides and the potential for political maneuvers, means its passage is uncertain. A vote is expected later today. The amnesty is part of President Macky Sall's response to the turmoil sparked by his last-minute postponement of the presidential polls, originally scheduled for February 25, 2024. The poll delay triggered deadly protest in the traditionally stable West African nation, which is still awaiting a new election date. Still in Senegal, Pape Abdoulaye Traoré, a supporter of Senegal's opposition leader Ousmane Sonko, says he was beaten and tortured during the height of political unrest and protest last June. Released from prison a few weeks ago, Traoré is now concerned about a general amnesty bill for actions related to political protests since 2021 being considered in the National Assembly. Now, the amnesty would cover all acts likely to be classified as criminal or correctional offenses committed between February 1st, 2021 and February 25th, 2024, both in Senegal and abroad, relating to demonstrations or having political motivations.
Un précédent dangereux pour ce pays. Ça donne le privilège ou bien le droit à ces politiciens de pouvoir faire tout ce qu'ils veulent dans ce pays, tuer des jeunes qui avaient de l'espoir ou bien un avenir prometteur, brutaliser des gens, piétiner les droits des Sénégalais et tout ça. Cette loi passe. Le prochain gouvernement qui va venir après le départ de Macky Sall, lui aussi il peut prendre le même chemin que Macky Sall, faire tout ce qu'il veut.
Let's join our business desk for today's business news.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Welcome to Business News. Total Energies and Qatar state-owned oil company have announced the acquisition of stakes in a license for oil and gas exploration off the coast of South Africa as part of their joint efforts to develop the Orange Basin area in neighboring Namibia. Under the agreement, Total Energies will purchase a 33% stake in the offshore block 3B/4B, covering approximately 18,000 square kilometers, while Qatar Energy will hold a 24% stake. The remaining ownership will be retained by the existing project owners, including Africa Oil, Azinam, owned by Canada-listed Eco Atlantic, and Ricocure. This collaboration aligns with the company's existing partnerships for exploration and production activities in Namibia, Guyana, and Kenya. South Africa's business confidence declined in the first quarter of 2024 due to ongoing challenges such as load shedding, port congestion, and inflation, according to a survey by Rand Merchant Bank, RMB, and the Bureau for Economic Research. The Business Confidence Index dropped to 30 points from 31 points in the previous quarter. Asa Langa, RMB's chief economist, highlighted that supply constraints, including load shedding and logistical challenges, continue to constrain South African businesses. Retail confidence decreased by 13 points to 34 points, primarily due to weak demand for consumer durable goods and declining profitability for retailers. The manufacturing sector also faced challenges, with confidence falling by 5 points to 21 points, reflecting weaker domestic and export demand. The Ugandan Central Bank raised its interest rate at a special monetary policy meeting to address worsening inflation and bolster its shilling. Deputy Governor Michael Atingi-Ego announced that policymakers increased the benchmark rate from 9.5% to 10% during a virtual briefing on Wednesday, marking the first hike since October 2022. Uganda's shilling has depreciated by approximately 7% since the World Bank's announcement in August of suspending funding to the country due to its legislation criminalizing homosexuality, with the currency reaching a record low of 30,957.50 per dollar on February 26. Both annual core inflation, excluding food and energy costs, and headline price growth accelerated to 3.4% in February. This special MPC is the second meeting in nearly 2 years. And that's the offering on business news at this time. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasomi Peter. The news continues shortly. Bye for now.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Let's turn our attention to sports with Onyinyechi Obaro.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
In the world of sports, we bring you stories from the African Games in Accra, Ghana. Nigeria table tennis players have now through to the quarterfinals of the men's team event. The women and men's team event at the ongoing African Games in Accra. The Nigerian team are through to the quarterfinals. They three stepped up the best of table tennis in the team event as 30 countries contested for sport are into the quarterfinals. As it stands, top seeds Egypt, Nigeria, as well as Algeria, Tunisia and Madagascar have booked their places in the last 8 of the competition in the men and women's event. Of course, Nigeria being coached by veteran table tennis player Segun Toriola, have the likes of Omotayo Olajide and also Aruno Quadri in the men's event. Moving away from that, the Nigeria Premier Football League side Niger Tornadoes have been fined by the league organizers. Niger Tornadoes have been charged for breaching the MPFL framework and rules during the Matchday 23 game versus Rangers International. Tornadoes failed to provide adequate and effective security, resulting to unauthorized persons gaining access to restricted areas. As a result, they have been fined a sum of 3 million naira. A fine of 1 million has been imposed on Tornadoes for failing to provide adequate security on match day. Tornadoes will also pay another 1 million for encroachment into the pitch during the match, as well as a further 1 million for the general misconduct on the match day. Niger Tornadoes have 48 hours to the date of the notice to appeal or accept their sanctions. It is good news for Liverpool in the English Premier League as Mohamed Salah has returned from injury and then joined training ahead of that fixture for Liverpool for the Europa League against Sparta Prague and Sunday's possible title decider against Manchester City at Anfield. Salah was seen training with the other teammate, of course, at Anfield there as they prepare for the Europa League fixture. Salah, who has scored 19 goals for Liverpool this season in all competition, was previously injured while representing Egypt at the African Cup of Nations. He has not played since February 17 when he came off the bench to score in that 4-1 win against Brentford. Salah's status and potential return will be clearer when manager Jurgen Klopp speaks to the media ahead of the Europa League round of 16 tie. There is trouble for Ancelotti, the manager of Real Madrid in the Spanish La Liga. Of course, news reaching us that the prosecutors in Spain have called for Real Madrid manager Carlo Ancelotti to be jailed for 4 years and 9 months for allegedly avoiding €1 million in tax. The charges relate to image rights revenues during his first spell in charge of the club from 2014 to 2015. The Madrid Community Prosecutor's Office accuses the Italian of creating confusion and complex system in that shell companies to hide extra earnings. Ancelotti returned to Madrid in 2021. His lawyer declined to provide a comment to Reuters, and the La Liga club Real Madrid have also not commented. We move to athletics right now. Ahead of the 13th African Games, the Kenyan Athletics Federation have now released a formidable team that will represent the country at the athletics event and at the African competition. Of course, reigning 800 meters champion Mary Mora will be leading the likes of Esther Bagari, Abel Kipsang and Kepengeti Jingeno for Kenyan contingent at the African Games in Accra, Ghana. Athletics Kenya selected a formidable team after a 2-day national trial held in Yayo National Stadium. Joining Mangari will be the women's 100 meters champion, Eunice Kadogo, who finished second in the title race. The men will be represented by Hesbon Ochieng, who cut the tape first, and who will be joined by Steve Odiambo Oyango. Rukia Nosra will represent the country in the women's 100 meters hurdle, while the men's 100 meters men's race will have Wiseman Were, who will be looking to shine more in Accra. Reigning African men's 100 meters champion Ferdinand Omanyala will not be competing in the Games, as he says he wants to give the youth a chance to shine at the 13th African competition. And finally, in the world of sports, the anticipated heavyweight bout between Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou took a new shape today, as both fighters went face-to-face at the final press conference today, just 48 hours before the fight night in Saudi Arabia. Former two-time heavyweight champion Joshua will face Ngannou, a former UFC champion, in Riyadh on Friday, March 8, 2024. In the latter's second fight for the sport, the Cameroonian made his boxing debut in October, flooring WBC champion Tyson Fury en route to that controversial decision. Ngannou returns to Riyadh for another clash with Britain as he prepares to face Anthony Joshua. Joshua last fought in Saudi Arabia as he stood against Otto Wallin in 5 rounds in December, after previously defeating Robert Helenius and Jermaine Franklin in 2023. The press conference got particularly testy after angry exchange between Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. And that's it in the world of sport. I am Onyinyechi Obaro. We serve you entertainment news next.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile. Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Let's tell you of the speculated potential collaboration between Asake, Killer Coots, and Bella Shmurda. A circulating video on social media showed Bella Shmurda and Asake in the studio, suggesting a joint project. Moreover, Killer Coots provided a glimpse for his fans by sharing a screenshot of audio recordings featuring the trio. Meanwhile, Bella Shmurda granted fans a behind-the-scenes look at his annual Tension Rave concert in Ibadan. This concert, renowned for its large attendance, holds significance as he announces 2 upcoming projects dedicated to his late friend and fellow musician Mohbad. Away from that, Naira Marley is in the news. Trial of Nigerian singer Naira Marley, famously known for his song Am I a Yahoo Boy, suffered a setback at the Lagos Federal High Court due to a pending application seeking approval for the former judge to continue proceedings over the case. Naira Marley faces charges of cybercrime filed by the EFCC since 2019. At the hearing, the prosecutor informed the court about the application, which dates back to December 8, 2023. Allegations against Naira Marley and his accomplices involve the use of a bank ATM card to defraud victims between November 26, 2018 and May 10, 2019. These actions are said to contravene provisions of the Cybercrime Prevention, Act of 2015. The case is now adjourned until May 30th. That's all we can take on entertainment tonight. We'll go on a short break, and when we're back, we'll bring you the updates on what's trending tonight. Thank you.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Moving on from entertainment stories, let us now tell you what is trending. The hashtag Peter Obi is currently sparking conversations on social media. A video circulating features the presidential candidate of Labour Party in the last election expressing his concerns regarding Nigerians accepting food aid from war-torn country, Ukraine. Let's listen to Peter Obi.
The whole of northern Nigeria is 268,000 square kilometers. Ukraine is 603,000 square kilometers. They have no reason to give us grain because we have the land. Why are they giving us grain? Because 60% of their land is cultivated, 60% of our own is uncultivated. And the people even say it's for Northeast. I might be governor of Niger State is here. Niger State can feed Nigeria. Niger State can feed Africa. Niger State is occupying 76.3 thousand square kilometers of land. They can feed Nigeria.
Let's check out a few reactions on social media to back what Peter Obi had to say. Seems we don't have those tweets. All right, here we go. Whether you believe it is an insult or not, ask yourself what Nigeria has to do with accepting food aid in 2024. Should we not have grown beyond this point if we were a serious people? Another tweet is saying, the truth is bitter, but must be said. Until Nigeria starts producing, we will remain poor. Firstly, Nigerian government should secure the country, improve electricity, encourage farming, reduce excessive government spending, restructure the country. We also went out to the streets where some Nigerians bared their minds. Let's look at that.
Recently, Nigerian government took delivery of donation from Ukraine, 25 metric tons of wheat. Let me quickly say that normally there's nothing abnormal from receiving aid, but looking at where it's coming from and looking at Nigeria, I think this is a national disgrace. It's a national disgrace because looking at our country with the level of arable lands we have, and looking at Ukraine, a country that has been ravaged with war for the past 2 years, coming to feed Nigeria, for me, I think it's an embarrassment.
It's really saddening that we actually got to this stage. I think majority of the problem we have with the food supply is due to, my opinion, insecurity. Because I've had a first-hand with someone that actually has a farm, and he said it was just by a stroke of luck that he wasn't kidnapped. Imagine just one person. If you interview about 10 or 100 farmers, they will give you one bad reason or the other why they are not on the farm. So if insecurity can be curbed as much as they can.
See, the truth is, we need to move away from what ought to be and also and concentrate on what is. Yes, I understand we are not supposed to because of our abundance and resources. But now we need to actually realize where we are now. We are not there yet. We are supposed to have taken advantage of all these resources, but we are not there yet. But people have to survive. So if this aid is what will help people to actually stay afloat, then why not?
This will remain a conversation that may not end soon, but no matter where you stand on this matter, we all agree that Nigerians deserve better from the leadership. That's all for tonight on What's Trending, but you can join the conversation and share your thoughts across social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. Thank you.
That's a wrap tonight. But before we go, another look at some of our top stories. We told you that President Bola Tinubu has signed an executive order to improve investment in the oil and gas sector. We also told you that Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima, others pay tribute to late Herbert Wigwe, his wife and son. Dozens have been abducted as Boko Haram attacked IDP camps in Borno State. And we told you that Senegalese MPs debate contentious amnesty bill as election delay crisis deepens. Don't forget to send in your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. You can also follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch us across these platforms live: DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Abo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Dakpo Adigboyi.